law enforcement to report a male subject on campus. Multiple agencies responded, including El Mirage Police Department, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and Surprise Police Department. As officers were converging on the scene, the suspect fled, and by the time officers arrived, we received various reports from staff, contradicting reports of the direction that the suspect was fleeing. And the only information we had at the time was it was a male subject, dark clothing, and appeared to have a handgun. We also received reports that the suspect may have entered the campus, the building, particularly the administration building. We have determined that that is unsubstantiated, but again, that was the initial report. Immediately when the school called law enforcement, they instituted their lockdown protocol. And I want to remind folks that the protocol was followed to a T. The school went on immediate lockdown, and as law enforcement entered the campus to begin their protocol of clearing the campus to rendering it safe, law enforcement, as they were clearing one hallway, came across a suspicious package. At that point, we changed protocol to address the suspicious package. Bomb technicians were called to check the package, determine if it was anything nefarious. Ultimately, the package was rendered safe by explosives and ordnance personnel. And again, I want to just back up a little bit. As law enforcement found the suspicious package before it was deemed safe, protocol again was instituted to relocate some of the staff and kids that were closest in proximity to that package and shift them to a location farther away. So that protocol was instituted and followed to a T.
Pretty chaotic situation.
I'm sorry?
Pretty chaotic situation.
It was a very chaotic situation. We had a ever-evolving situation at that point. Once the package was rendered safe by explosives and ordnance personnel, school instituted and law enforcement began to institute a reunification protocol. And again, I want to emphasize that at that point in time, the school was still on lockdown. And during lockdown, it is very important that parents understand that nobody will be allowed on campus. As we were starting to move into that reunification process and the notification of the kids, we already had parents arriving on campus. A lot of the kids today have phones on them already. They began to notify their parents. So as we were initiating that protocol with the school, parents started to arrive on campus. And again, campus is still on lockdown. As we were working through that process, several parents became confrontational with law enforcement to the point where law enforcement had to warn them that they will not be allowed on campus, and we were continuing with our procedures and protocol set in place. Again, several parents continued with their agitation, made several statements that they were going to come on campus to help protect their kids. As a parent, I understand that philosophy. However, there are procedures that law enforcement and the school were following. That continued to escalate to the point where ultimately 3 individuals were arrested. One of those individuals was found to be in possession of a firearm on school campus and will be subsequently charged with that violation, as well as disorderly conduct. And during that process of the arrest of those 3 individuals, 2 subjects were tased, and one subject, as a result of that, was taken to the hospital and is being treated for their injuries. And again, we have 3 subjects who've been arrested, 1 in custody at El Mirage Police Department right now, and another being treated at the hospital.
So 3 parents, right?
Three parents have been arrested.
Only 1 is facing charges?
No, all three will be facing charges.
Parents of 3 different students?
That I don't have the information on. And again, one of the individuals, the initial instigator, was found to be in possession of a firearm. Had nothing to do with the initial call of the suspicious person on campus. Again, I want to back up a little bit because we did have a suspect, a suspicious individual, reportedly with a firearm, attempt to make his way on campus. That suspect fled the scene. We are continuing to search for that suspect. The only information we have at this point is either a black male or dark-skinned Hispanic male with a tattoo on the forehead, wearing a yellow shirt, black shorts. Now, law enforcement is working to locate that suspect. We have some investigative leads at this point in time, and we are working those investigative leads, and that's all the information we have on the suspect. But I want to get the description out so that you can broadcast it out to the public. If they come across anybody matching that description, please contact 911.
Unknown at the time if he drove or ran away.
It is unknown. Well, the only information that we have at this point in time is that he ran from the school campus. Again, we were giving conflicting information on direction of travel, but the last information that we got was he ran towards the river bottom.
Obviously, tempers are hot with parents, especially with what happened with Uvalde, with those images coming out of parents being held back in Texas during that school shooting. Now with this occasion happening, parents coming on during lockdown, just wanted to know if there's any message you want to send to parents, especially during such a sensitive situation that we had today.
Well, first and foremost, every single student and every single member of staff at Thompson Ranch Elementary is safe and sound. That is first and foremost. The building is rendered safe. The campus is rendered safe. I want to emphasize also that protocols followed by both school and law enforcement worked as they should have worked. And everything was followed to a T. We had a great working relationship with school staff as law enforcement converged, particularly law enforcement from at least 3 different agencies. We did also have Department of Public Safety arrive on scene and provide assistance as well. So the protocols for the lockdown, the protocols for the evacuation, and the protocols for the reunification process once everything was deemed safe all worked well.
So are you saying the people who got tased today, that was part of the protocol that you guys have in place?
We were holding the campus in a lockdown state at that point in time. In other words, the protocol states that we are not going to let anybody on campus, and the parents need to understand that when the school is on lockdown and law enforcement's on scene, nobody's going to be allowed on campus. Law enforcement is going to address the situation, deem the area safe. So it is, in that particular situation, these individuals, the initial individual that had the weapon was being defended by the 2 others that were arrested, and that is the reason why all 3 were arrested.
Was one of them taken out in a stretcher? Who was taken away from the school in a stretcher?
I believe that was one of the individuals who was tased, and as a result of the taser strike, received injuries.
Okay, from that incident. But
Yes.
as far as any shots being fired
no.
for the initial intruder?
We have no shots, no report of any shots being fired, and the only information we have with the suspect related to a weapon is that he was seen with an unknown handgun.
And so he tried to get into a door that was locked, or can you explain what the attempt
The information from staff was that he attempted to gain entry onto a building. The door was locked and was unable to get entry, and was chased away by staff.
Was that the administration building or a building that leads to classrooms?
That was one of the exterior buildings.
Okay, so there were classrooms and kids in that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Is there a fence around that building that you have to go over to get to these buildings, or are they open to?
Well, not knowing exactly where he came from, I don't have any information on that because we don't know where exactly he came from to get onto campus.
Can you just wrap it up again with the description of this person that?
What we have so far is a black or dark-skinned male, probably about average build. Last seen wearing a yellow shirt, black shorts, and has a noticeable tattoo on the front part of his face.
Were the parents that were arrested, were they physically trying to get onto campus or be physical with officers?
They were physically attempting to get into campus, and they were physically, they were getting in physical altercations with our officers.
Okay, so like trying to push somebody
Exactly.
out of the way and get in. Okay.
Yes, they were forcefully pushing onto the officers trying to get onto campus.
The person that was arrested with the firearm, was that firearm on his person or was it in his car? Or?
It was on him.
Was he the person who was also tased? So there are 2 people who were tased.
No, the other 2 individuals who came to his aid were tased. He was not tased. He was taken into custody, and as a result of him being taken into custody, that's when the weapon fell onto the ground, and it was on him.
Were they all male?
No, 2 males, 1 female.
Okay, and the male was tased. The male and the
We
female.
have 1 male and 1 female.
Lucky it didn't go off when it fell down.
Correct.
And that, I mean, you're not supposed to carry any firearms, right?
That is correct. All schools are gun-free zones. And again, he will be appropriately charged for that violation. But a reminder is that anyone coming onto a school campus with a weapon will be charged with that violation.
Even parents.
I'm sorry?
Even parents.
Yes, even parents.
Were any other schools on lockdown? Did you yell on the loudspeaker that there was someone out there with a gun?
Not on a loudspeaker, but again, protocols for the district, and I won't go into too many details with the protocols for obvious reasons, but protocols for the district, the Dysart School District, were followed.
Does this school have a school resource officer? Do they have somebody already here on campus that's affiliated with Mirage or Sheriff's Office?
No, not at Thompson Ranch Elementary.
And was this individual seen on surveillance video?
We don't have that information yet.
How many people, how many staff or witnesses saw this man on campus with a gun?
I don't have those numbers. We've given at least a handful of different sightings. And again, a lot of it was after the fact, after he attempted to make entry in. So I don't have the exact number of how many folks saw him. We did have law enforcement who were converging on scene, did see a male subject jump over the back wall and go into the river bottom.
Thanks.
Did school wrap up early today because of
What's that?
they let school out early?
Once the unification process was completed, then everybody was released.
Thanks.
The 3 people will be charged, they're all parents.
It is my understanding that they are parents.
Last question. School might be Monday. If this individual still isn't caught, are you guys have an increased presence here, or could school possibly be closed down again on Monday here?
As far as the school decision to close down, I can't answer that. I can't speak for the school. As far as El Mirage Police Department, we will more than likely have routine directed patrols in the immediate area during our patrol shifts.
Thank you.
Will you be releasing the names of those that were arrested?
I don't have those names.
Have they already been booked?
No.
Would we be able to possibility to get those names and identities by the
Once we get through the initial pre-booking process and get all our interviews complete, then we'll have that information.
And then the person that was taken out in the stretcher, the guy that was tased, was it any major injuries or?
I believe it was a female.
Oh,
the female that was injured, and she is being treated at a local area hospital.
At which hospital, sorry?
At a local area hospital.
Okay. So other than those 2, no injuries.
No injuries. Again, I want to emphasize that the protocols followed by the Dysart School District were implemented as they should have been, and then responding law enforcement that showed up on scene followed their protocols as well. So it was a well-worked, concerted effort.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.